to do, child, you want to.
Good morning, guys, and welcome back to it. Wednesday might be Woman Crush, but this month is the last time to get ready because Mother's Day is coming up, and that might be a Woman Crush pretty soon. Now, our next guest is going to help us celebrate moms in a very important way as we are getting ready to sip and thrive on Sunday, the 4th of May. To tell me more, Nadiège Honoré-Wellington, a psychologist at Thriving Life Therapy Practice, joins us on the now. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Necessary, because when we talk about thriving, we can do that in many ways, but particularly as mothers, with Mother's Day coming up, we should probably focus on what it really is necessary.
Yeah.
I think generally, though, we might find that moms really put everybody else on the front burner and themselves on the back end. So let's talk a little bit about what it would mean to thrive, specifically as a mother. Why is it important to do that self-care thing?
Yeah, that self-care thing that we keep hearing about
Right?
all the time. So thriving is not just surviving. And, you know, we are, as mothers, managing a huge load, mental load, physical demands, work, relationships, everything, right? And in a lot of homes, mothers are managing the majority of what's happening.
Right.
And how we take care of ourselves impacts how we live our lives, right? How we interact with those around us, how we show up in our workspaces and our relationships. And at the end of the day, everybody wants to live happy lives. We want to feel light and carefree. We want to be able to feel purposeful and fulfilled. And it's challenging to do those things when we don't put time into the self-care.
Right.
And I don't want to just say self-care like arbitrarily, like, you know, you're here, just go
Get your nails done.
Exactly. Get your nails done. That's not the self-care that I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's helpful. That's important. But I'm talking about your mental health, right? Prioritizing, taking care of your mental health, identifying when there are issues, when you are overwhelmed, when you are struggling to manage the load as a mother, mental load and otherwise, that you need to take action, that you need to get support, and you need to step out of your what is a comfort zone but not so comfortable,
Right.
because you're doing it on a regular basis, to just do something different and to feel that thriving, get that thriving experience.
Now, as a psychologist, you will be able to identify that probably sooner than most in terms of persons who are struggling or need that support. What do you think is a big red flag, or maybe a few red flags that we could be mindful of as mothers when we need that help?
Yeah. I mean, okay, so one of the things that when I work with parents and teens, one of the things that you see showing up for a lot of moms who are overwhelmed and struggling is being very irritable, snapping, being impatient. And, you know, moms, you know, we beat ourselves up in those moments because everybody wants to be a good mom. But these are signs that, you know, your mental health needs a little bit of love and care, as well as, you know, really high stress levels. And then, of course, these things eventually can show up as depression, anxiety, burnout, which a lot of mothers are experiencing now. So these are some of the signs and the experiences that we have to look out for, to know that, you know, our mental health needs extra care.
A little help. Now, in terms of these signs, though, interestingly, those can go across the board, not just mothers, but, you know, fathers, everybody else, everybody in the family. And I'm sure they play a role in supporting mom as well. So since mom is the focus, let's talk a little bit about what partners or even other persons in the home can do to help support mom as well.
The number one thing I would suggest is to share the load. And I don't just mean washing the clothes. That's great. And I'm sure most mothers, if not all, would appreciate
Most
that.
people.
Yes,
I hate laundry, but yes.
Yeah, but sharing the mental load, right? You know, as a mom, the mental load includes a long list of things. You're thinking about the finances, the children, the activities. You're thinking about meals, you're prepping, you're planning. You're trying to take care of yourself at the same time. You're trying to keep your relationship strong. You're trying to do so much, right, around the home and in your family. And I think family members can help by sharing that load, taking responsibility without asking, without having to be asked, taking responsibility for some of the things around the home. And in that same light, I would say that mothers can also set boundaries that empower our family members to help us. Right? Sometimes we do things for our children that they don't need us to do. Sometimes they are more than capable of doing certain things on their own. So we as moms too have to know where we draw the line, where we set boundaries.
And how to share the load.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, one way to share the load is to attend this event that you're having on the 4th of May, which will allow us to thrive. Tell me more about this Sip and Thrive.
Right. Well, Sip and Thrive really came out of me wanting to create a space where women, moms in particular, could reconnect with themselves, take a step back from the overwhelm, from the everyday hustle and bustle, and really check in with yourself. How have you been managing? How have you been coping? Who are you? Because guess what? You know, we are at the bottom of our list too often. Too often we're on the back burner. And so this event is an opportunity for moms to have that space, right? This is a space for them to just have that moment to reconnect and also feel supported and encouraged by other moms.
Nice. Tell me what the actual space is going to be like, because when we talk about Sip and Thrive, I'm thinking we lounging, I'm thinking drinks.
Right.
Tell me what we're doing.
Yeah, so of course I want it to be a calm, relaxing space, right? So this event is a combination of an intimate space for moms to connect, to sit, you know, to relax, to have that drink, right? But also get the tools and the strategies. So it's a combination of a guided workshop and the sipping and the relaxing and the connecting with other moms. Just leaving feeling empowered.
Nice. I imagine it's not going to be too strenuous in terms of, or too intense that workshop, because we are going to be sipping. But what some of the topics that we might cover would be like?
Yeah, well, managing the overwhelm is one. Dealing with burnout, imposter syndrome. One of the things that I really want to help moms do is to change the way that we think about motherhood and who we are as moms. So there are some negative thought patterns there that keep informing our lives. We feel like we need to be perfect. We feel need to have it all together all the time. And no, that's unrealistic. No mother could do that.
Nobody.
It's unsustainable. Yeah, so those are some of the topics. Also, there will be conversation, opportunity for moms to share, to connect, to feel like, you know, you're not alone.
Yeah, because you're not. And at the end of the day, you will have a certain number of women in your fold immediately in that situation, and hopefully be able to continue to chat with them as well. Tell me how we become one of the moms. How do we get tickets? How do we register? What sort of connection do we make? Okay,
well, you know, you could go to social media, Thriving Life Therapy, and social on Instagram, or call 724, send a WhatsApp message, 724-6115. And then just express your interest. You know, you can actually go onto my website also, thrivinglifetherapypractice.com, and you could purchase tickets there. And then you have a variety of payment options.
Okay. Now, in terms of the tickets, are they tiered or anything of the sort? Or do we have time before the price changes? Is it that type of situation?
Yeah, they have time. Also, I have a special on right now where you could bring a mom friend and you get $50 off of your ticket for both of you.
Nice.
Yeah, and let me add that the ticket includes, so you have the guided workshop, you have complimentary drink, but you also have a Thriving Mom workbook. Something for you to take away, for you to reflect, for you to do that in a work. As well as a lot of giveaways. You know, I'm so grateful to the sponsors who have been showing up for this event. So moms can expect to leave with, you know, gift vouchers, makeup, spa vouchers, yes.
The things that we like. I'm not even a mom, but I'm ready to be your friend. What is it, mom friend? That can help you get extra money off of the tickets. And in that case, just remind us of dates and location.
Right. Yes, Sunday the 4th of May. It's at 4:30 at Mole Marketplace in Petty Valley. And I love Mole because it's a very calm setting, you know, that laid back, relaxed vibe.
Well, then we'll be very ready to sip and thrive. On Sunday the 4th, we head to Petty Valley because Nadiège is making sure that women are not just equipped as mothers, but equipped to thrive beyond the day. The 4th of May, that is. You can find out more about it on our website, thrivinglifetherapypractice.com. And of course, you can find out more about other ways to celebrate mom and the women in your life here on the Now Morning Show. But you have to stick around to find out. So come back after these messages.
Your mother's love should never